Welcome. What if one of the most overlooked Lincoln wheat cents has been hiding remarkable collector secrets in plain sight for decades? In this documentary, we'll examine the tiny details that experienced numismatists look for, uncover what makes certain authenticated examples stand out, and explore why condition, originality, and history can turn an ordinary-looking coin into a fascinating collectible. First coin. Few American coins create as much quiet excitement among collectors as the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark, a coin that appears ordinary at first glance yet can reveal remarkable stories under careful examination. Millions of people have handled one over the decades without realizing that tiny details hidden in its surfaces can dramatically influence its desirability among serious numismatists. While countless examples remain common in circulated grades, a select group has survived in exceptional condition, preserving sharp design details and original mint luster that collectors actively pursue. Later, you'll discover what authenticated examples have brought at major auctions and why seemingly identical coins can end up with dramatically different values. The answer is not based on age alone, but on a fascinating combination of preservation, strike quality, originality, rarity, and professional authentication that separates an ordinary wheat cent from one worthy of significant collector attention. The story of this coin begins in the years following the end of World War II, when the United States was entering a period of remarkable economic expansion. American factories that had supplied wartime production shifted toward consumer goods, suburbs expanded across the country, and millions of families experienced growing prosperity. During this transition, the humble Lincoln cent remained an essential part of everyday commerce, passing through grocery stores, banks, post offices, and neighborhood businesses countless times each day. The 1949 Lincoln wheat cent, without a mint mark, was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the nation's oldest federal minting facility. Because Philadelphia did not place a mint mark on Lincoln cents during that era, these coins are identified by the absence of any letter beneath the date. More than 217 million examples were struck, making it a plentiful issue when measured by mintage alone. Yet experienced collectors know that large production numbers do not guarantee an abundant supply of beautifully preserved coins, especially after decades of heavy circulation and everyday use. Every detail of the coin reflects the practical craftsmanship of mid-20th century American coinage. The cent is composed primarily of 95% copper, with the remaining 5% consisting of tin and zinc, giving it the warm reddish appearance that has become iconic among wheat cents. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and features a plain edge without reading. On the obverse appears Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials are subtly positioned near the lower edge of the bust. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth, this design became the first regularly circulating United States coin to feature a real historical figure instead of the symbolic liberty. The reverse displays two graceful wheat ears surrounding the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with EPLUBUSUNUM above. Although millions were produced using high-speed presses, slight differences in die preparation, metal flow, and striking pressure created subtle variations that collectors continue to study more than 7 decades later. As these cents circulated through cash registers, vending machines, and pockets across America, most gradually lost their original brilliance. Friction wore away the highest points of Lincoln's cheek, jaw, hair, and coat, while the wheat ears became flatter with continued use. Because of this natural wear, examples that escaped circulation became increasingly desirable as the decades passed. Collectors evaluate these coins using internationally recognized grading standards, ranging from heavily worn good examples to mint state pieces that never entered circulation. They also classify copper coins by color, a factor that has a substantial influence on value. Brown coins have fully toned surfaces, red-brown pieces retain portions of their original mint color, and fully red examples preserve nearly all of their original copper brilliance. Since copper naturally darkens through oxidation, genuinely red 1949 Philadelphia cents are considerably scarcer than their darker counterparts, particularly in the highest certified mint state grades. A coin that has remained untouched inside an old collection for generations can therefore command much stronger collector interest than another with the same date that spent decades in circulation. When collector values enter the conversation, condition becomes the defining factor rather than the date itself. A circulated 1949 Philadelphia wheat cent without a mint mark is typically affordable and collected primarily as part of a complete Lincoln cent set. However, sharply struck examples displaying original surfaces, attractive color, and minimal contact marks become increasingly valuable as the grade improves. Authenticated mint state examples with full red color can realistically sell for around $1,250 to $2,400 depending on certified grade, eye appeal, and current market demand. Exceptionally preserved coins with outstanding luster and premium certification may exceed those levels, particularly when bidding competition develops among advanced Lincoln cent specialists. On rare occasions, elite registry quality examples certified at the highest levels by respected grading services have achieved auction results well above ordinary collector prices. Those extraordinary sales represent only the finest known survivors with exceptional preservation and should never be interpreted as the typical value of every 1949 wheat cent without a mint mark. One reason collectors examine these cents so carefully is the possibility of discovering interesting mint errors or die varieties. Although the 1949 Philadelphia issue is not famous for a single dominant variety comparable to some other Lincoln cents, specialists still search for repunched design elements, minor double dies, die cracks, die chips, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, lamination flaws, and dramatic strike-through errors. Each authenticated error tells the story of something unusual occurring during the minting process before the coin ever entered circulation. Even relatively small errors can generate strong collector interest when they are clearly visible and certified as genuine. At the same time, collectors must remain cautious because damaged coins are often mistaken for mint errors. Scratches, environmental corrosion. Polishing, chemical cleaning, and post-mint alterations can resemble genuine production anomalies, but usually reduce collector value. Careful examination under proper lighting, comparison with documented varieties, and professional authentication remain the safest methods for determining whether a coin represents a legitimate mint error or simply decades of ordinary damage. Authentication has become increasingly important as valuable Lincoln cents attract counterfeiters and deceptive alterations. Professional grading companies examine every aspect of a coin, including its weight, diameter, metallic composition, strike characteristics, surface texture, and microscopic details that are difficult to reproduce convincingly. Experts also look for evidence of altered dates, added mint marks, artificial recoloring, tooling, and cleaning that may not be obvious to inexperienced collectors. Even an authentic coin can lose considerable value if its surfaces have been harshly cleaned or improperly restored. Preservation, therefore, plays a vital role in long-term collectability. Copper is especially sensitive to fingerprints, moisture, and environmental contaminants, making proper storage essential. Collectors typically place valuable examples in inert holders or professionally encapsulated slabs, keeping them in stable, low-humidity environments away from direct sunlight and rapid temperature changes. Simple precautions, such as handling coins only by their edges and avoiding abrasive cleaning, can preserve both their originality and their market appeal for future generations. Today, the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark continues to occupy an important place within one of America's most widely collected coin series. It appeals not because every example is rare, but because the search for exceptional survivors remains both challenging and rewarding. Every authenticated high-grade coin represents decades of careful preservation against enormous odds, while every documented mint error offers a unique glimpse into the manufacturing process inside the Philadelphia Mint. Auction records consistently demonstrate that rarity, originality, certification, and collector demand determine value far more than age alone. A beautifully preserved specimen may attract determined bidding from advanced collectors seeking to improve competitive registry sets, while an ordinary circulated example serves as an affordable piece of American history connecting modern collectors with the everyday commerce of post-war America. That balance between accessibility and genuine numismatic excellence is precisely what has allowed the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent to remain a respected and enduring favorite among collectors, researchers, and historians who continue to appreciate the remarkable stories hidden within one small copper coin. Next coin at first glance, the 1951 Lincoln wheat cent struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark appears to be just another copper penny that quietly circulated through American pockets and cash registers. Yet among experienced numismatists, this seemingly ordinary coin has earned lasting attention because its true desirability depends on details that many people never notice. Two examples with the same date can have dramatically different collector appeal, even if they appear nearly identical to an untrained eye. As this story unfolds, you'll discover why authenticated specimens are sought after, what separates common survivors from exceptional ones, and how preservation, originality, grading, and market demand ultimately determine what serious collectors are willing to pay. The journey behind this small copper coin is far more fascinating than its humble appearance suggests, revealing a chapter of American history preserved in metal. The year 1951 found the United States entering a new phase of the post-war era. The nation was experiencing strong industrial growth while also facing the challenges of the Korean War, which had begun the previous year. Factories operated at high capacity, consumer demand remained strong, and inflation became an important economic concern as defense production increased once again. During this period, the Lincoln wheat cent continued to perform the everyday task it had fulfilled for decades, facilitating millions of small transactions across the country. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by the absence of a mint mark beneath the date, produced approximately 284.6 million Lincoln cents in 1951. Although that figure represents a substantial mintage, the vast majority entered circulation immediately, where constant handling gradually diminished their original appearance. As a result, pristine survivors are considerably less common today than the production total alone might suggest. Physically, the coin follows the familiar specifications that collectors associate with the classic wheat cent series. It is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and features a plain edge. The obverse displays Abraham Lincoln's portrait, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose design first appeared in 1909 and marked a significant moment in American numismatic history as the first regularly circulating U.S. coin to portray an actual historical figure. Brenner's initials remain discreetly positioned near the lower edge of Lincoln's shoulder. On the reverse, two stylized wheat ears frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, while the national motto EPLUBUSUNUM arches above. The wheat symbolizes prosperity and agricultural strength, reminding viewers of America's deep farming heritage during a period when agriculture remained an essential pillar of the national economy. Despite the straightforward design, subtle differences in die preparation and striking pressure produce small variations that specialists continue to study decades later. As millions of these cents passed from hand to hand, they accumulated wear that gradually erased the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, cheekbone, coat, and the fine details within the wheat stalks. This long circulation history explains why collectors place such importance on condition. Professional grading services evaluate preservation using the internationally accepted Sheldon grading scale, ranging from heavily worn examples to mint state coins that never experienced circulation. Copper coins also receive color designations because their original appearance changes naturally over time. Brown examples have fully toned surfaces, red-brown pieces retain portions of their original mint color, and red examples preserve nearly all of the vibrant copper brilliance present when the coin left the mint. Since copper oxidizes easily, fully red 1951 Philadelphia cents become increasingly scarce in higher mint state grades, especially when accompanied by strong luster and minimal contact marks. This combination of preservation and originality is one of the primary reasons advanced collectors compete for exceptional certified examples. Once condition enters the discussion, collector values begin to separate dramatically. Most circulated 1951 Philadelphia wheat cents remain affordable additions to a Lincoln cent collection, but coins that survive with outstanding eye appeal, original mint luster, and high certified grades become significantly more desirable. Depending on authentication, grade, color designation, originality, and current collector demand, premium mint state red examples can realistically sell in the neighborhood of approximately $1,180 to $2,760. Particularly attractive specimens with exceptional strike quality and elite certification may exceed those figures when offered through respected auction firms. From time to time, registry quality examples representing some of the finest certified survivors have realized substantially stronger prices. Those remarkable auction results reflect extraordinary preservation rather than the date itself, illustrating why two coins struck in the same year at the same mint can differ enormously in market value. Beyond condition, specialists also examine every 1951 Lincoln wheat cent for evidence of legitimate mint-made varieties and production errors. While this Philadelphia issue is not associated with one famous major variety comparable to certain other wheat cents, collectors continue searching for authenticated double dies, die cracks, die chips, clip planchets, off-center strikes, lamination errors, and strike-throughs created during the minting process. Such pieces are genuinely collectible because they document unusual events that occurred inside the mint before the coins ever entered circulation. However, careful distinction must be made between authentic mint errors and damage acquired after leaving the mint. Scratches, corrosion, polishing, environmental deterioration, or intentional alterations are frequently mistaken for valuable errors by inexperienced collectors. Reliable identification requires comparison with documented references, and whenever substantial value may be involved, examination by recognized authentication and grading services rather than assumptions based solely on appearance. Authentication has become increasingly important because desirable wheat cents occasionally attract counterfeiters and altered coins intended to deceive buyers. Specialists inspect weight, diameter, metallic composition, strike characteristics, surface texture, and microscopic details that reveal whether a coin remains genuine and unaltered. They also evaluate whether specimen has been cleaned, recolored, repaired, or artificially enhanced, all of which can significantly reduce collector value even when the coin itself is authentic. Proper preservation, therefore, becomes just as important as discovery. Copper reacts readily to moisture, fingerprints, chemical contaminants, and fluctuating environmental conditions, making careful storage essential for maintaining long-term quality. Collectors generally recommend inert archival holders, low humidity storage, minimal handling, and avoiding abrasive cleaning under all circumstances. A naturally toned coin with untouched original surfaces is almost always preferred over one that has been aggressively polished in an attempt to improve its appearance. Today, the 1951 Lincoln wheat cent, without a mint mark, occupies a respected position within one of America's most widely collected coin series because it perfectly demonstrates how history, preservation, and collector demand intersect. While its original mintage ensures that examples remain obtainable for beginners, the pursuit of superb mint state survivors continues to challenge even advanced specialists assembling registry-quality collections. Verified auction history consistently shows that authentication, originality, eye appeal, strike quality, color, and certified grade influence value far more than age alone. Truly exceptional examples represent decades of careful preservation against considerable odds, making them desirable pieces of American numismatic history rather than simply old pennies. That enduring balance between accessibility and genuine rarity explains why the 1951 Philadelphia Lincoln wheat cent continues attracting historians, researchers, investors, and collectors who appreciate not only the coin itself, but also the remarkable story preserved within its small copper surface. Last coin. The investigation begins with a coin that most people would never look at twice. 1953 Lincoln wheat cent carrying the small D mint mark beneath the date seems no different from countless other pennies that once passed through grocery stores, bank counters, and family piggy banks across America. Yet experienced collectors know that this ordinary appearance can be surprisingly deceptive. Long before anyone considers its collector value, they begin asking a series of careful questions. Is the strike unusually sharp? Has the original copper color survived? Does the mint mark look authentic? Could the coin have escaped circulation before its delicate surfaces began to wear? Those are the clues that transform an everyday cent into an object worthy of serious examination. As we continue, you'll see why authenticated examples have attracted lasting collector interest and discover the combination of preservation, rarity, certification, and market demand that has allowed certain survivors to stand far above the millions that once left the Denver Mint. To understand this coin, it helps to step back into America during 1953. The country was enjoying continued economic expansion after the difficult years of World War II, while adapting to new political and military realities during the early Cold War. Consumer spending was rising, suburban neighborhoods continued to expand, automobile production flourished, and television was